For God will present thyself.
For God will, Ban Yahanna, Ban Yashala.
For God will, Ban Yahanna, Ban SHALAM.
Yahanna Shem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahanna I.S.U.P.K. Barakatham.
Yasharala.
Imagine, which means to stand. Wapayah, which means turn and face the east. We say the Lord's Prayer, Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim. Kudash.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Yahweh.
Malakaka.
Sabbath.
I.S.U.P.K. Barakatham. Kawa.
Kawa, Hayah.
Bashamayim.
The thunder now.
The come.
Cow. The wall. Wasalak now. Waf now. Wasalak now.
Kasalak now.
Waf now.
Waf now.
Wa'ah. now.
Wanasaya
A bull. I'm shy now. Maya. Right. Kaya. Laka. Amalaku. Wa'ah. Watapar. Now we love him. I'm up.
Our Father, which art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We're going to say the cock, the power. Yahweh. By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Babakashah. Thunder now. Cock. La Pa'ah. Marawa. Cock. Latahah. Hamatazariah. Lahakim.
Amati.
Akawa. Hatama'ala. God Shem. Hashem. Yahushua.
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We'll say, bless Israel, Yahweh. By Hashem. Yahushua. Barak Lanau. Wayasha'ala.
Wahabiyah.
Sapari. Barak.
Magun.
Hashem.
Yahushua.
Du'ad
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal.
Shield.
Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say Psalms 121.
Asha'ah.
Ayah.
Ahari.
Ma'ayah. Isaiah.
Ma'an.
Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K,
Shemaiah,
I.S.U.P.K,
I.S.U.P.K,
Number what?
Regalka,
I.S.U.P.K,
Shemarka,
Enough,
La'ah,
Yanawam,
Wala'ah,
I.S.U.P.K,
Shawamah,
Yashalam,
Yashalam,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shemarka,
Shemarka,
Yahweh,
Tizalka,
Ayah,
Yamika,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Hashemah,
Hashemah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yakalka,
Yakalka,
Ayarah,
Wayarah,
Walaylah,
Walaylah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashemah,
Yashamarka,
Yakalra,
Makalra,
Yashemah,
Yashemah,
Aklapash,
Aznapash,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashemah,
Yashemah,
Taza'aka,
Taza'aka,
Wabu'aka,
Wabawaka,
Ma'itah,
Ma'itah,
Awulam,
Wa'idawulam, Du'adamah.
In English, I will lift up my eyes to the hills.
I will lift up my eyes to the
From
hill.
whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my
My
help?
help coming from Yahweh.
My help coming from Yahweh,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
Do not suffer thy foot to be moved.
You will not suffer thy foot to be
He
moved.
that keepeth thee,
He that keepeth
will
thee
not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going
And
out
thy coming in.
and thy coming
From
in.
this time forth.
From this time forth
And even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to say Psalm 83. Alahaya,
Alahaya,
Adamalaka,
Adamayalaka,
Atakara,
Atakarash,
Atashakwa,
Atashakwa, Al,
Kayahana,
Yahanna,
Awyabika,
Awiyabika,
Yahamayuwa,
Yahamayuwa,
Wamanashnayaka,
Wamanashnayaka,
Nashawa,
Nashawa,
Ra'ash,
Ra'ash,
Al-Aimaka,
Al-Aimaka,
Yaryama,
Yaryama,
Sawa,
Sawar,
Wayatayaitiswa,
Wayatayaitiswa,
Atazapawanika,
Atasapawanika,
Amar,
Amal,
Makau,
Makau,
Warakaki,
Wanakaki,
Magali,
Magali,
La'ah,
Wala'ah,
Yasaka,
Yazakar,
Shem Yasha'a,
Shem Yashal,
Aiwa,
Aiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Wa'aitiswa,
La'aitiswa,
La,
La,
Yakabu,
Yakabu,
Ayaka,
Ayaka,
Baya,
Farya,
Yakarafu,
Yakarafa,
Ahali,
Ahali,
Adawam,
Adawam,
Wayashima Ali,
Wayashima'ali,
Mawa'abu,
Mawa'abu,
Wahagari,
Wahagari,
Gabal,
Gabal,
Waimawa,
Waimawa,
Waimalak,
Waimalak,
Palasha,
Palasha,
Adishabi,
Anishabi,
Kazawo,
Tazawar,
Kamashawo,
Gamashawo,
Nalawa,
Nalawa,
Imam,
Imam,
Ayawa,
Ayawa,
Nabawad,
Narawa,
Nabayalawat,
Nabayalawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Ashilaham,
Ashilaham,
Kamadi,
Kamadi,
Sarah Sarah,
Kasai Sarah,
Yabi,
Yabi,
Adakol,
Adakol,
Yashwa,
Yashwan,
Nashamago,
Nashamago,
Bayanda Ira,
Bayanda Ira,
Hayawa,
Ayawa,
Lamar,
Lamar,
La'adama,
La'adama,
Shaytamu,
Shaytama,
Nadiyamu,
Nadiyamu,
Kaira,
Kaira,
because of Abba,
because of Abba,
because of Bak,
because of Bak,
because of Zamana,
because of Zamana,
Kamasai Kamu,
Kalasai Kamu,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amaru,
Amaru,
Nairashar,
Nairashah,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Nawa,
Nawa,
Alahaya,
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 Shaytamu,
Shaytama,
Gagabu,
Gagabu,
Kwa,
Shakwa,
Payakar,
Lairaka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Ira,
Lairi,
Wakala Haba,
Wakala Haba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Haryam,
Haryam,
Kam,
Kam,
Dardatmu,
Dardatmu,
Basa Ira,
Basa Iraka,
Ubasa Wapaka,
Ubasa Wapaka,
Bahalam,
Nabahalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Bayaham,
Bayaham,
Balawam,
Kualawan,
Bayabakwashu,
Wayakwashu, Shaka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yabashu,
Yabashwa,
Yabaali,
Wayabaali,
Ayai,
Ayai,
Yakapar,
Wayakapar,
Wayabadu,
Wayabawa,
Wayaiba,
Wayadaiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Ata,
Ata,
Suka,
Shaka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Baraka,
Rabaka,
Ayanawam,
Ayanawan,
Ayawam,
Ayawan,
Akaratazah,
Akaratazah,
Tuwadama,
Dualaman.
in English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy
And
peace.
be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Below. Thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
They have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden
They
ones.
have said.
Come,
let us cut them off.
let us cut them off.
Be a nation.
Be a nation.
In the name of Israel.
In the name of
There
Israel.
be no more remembrance.
There be no more remembrance.
They have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of
And
Edom.
the Israelites.
And the Israelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And Hagarine.
And Hagarine.
Gabal and Ammon.
Gabal and
And
Ammon.
Amalek.
And Amalek.
Philistines.
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher is also joined with them.
Asher is also joined
They
with
have
them.
hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of
So Lot,
Lot.
do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sarah.
And Sister Sarah.
As to Jabin.
And Sister Ben.
The brook of Kishon.
And the brook of Kishon.
Perished at Endor.
Perished at Endor.
They became a dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a ram.
Make their nobles like a ram.
And like the ant.
And like the ant.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Sabbath.
As Sabbath.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said, let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to
The
ourselves
house of Yahweh in possession.
the house of your house of
Hold
possession.
my power.
Hold my power.
Make it like a wheel.
Make it like a wheel.
As a stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As a fire burning to wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
And as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with
And
shame.
they may seek thy name.
And they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
In trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
Shah, which means to turn. Shabbat, which means to be seated.
Mid up here, Yeshavim, which means to be seated. Tell the Akim has been studying. Real strong in that Hebrew. Real strong in that Hebrew. We're going to continue on where we left off. We left off last week. We're going to start this week in Nehemiah 14, chapter 12. It's like in Nehemiah chapter 12, 14 through 21. Just give me a moment to get there in the Hebrew. Shapati, if you could, can you just give me the first one, Baba Kishar? First one.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 12, verse 14.
Hold on. Get me through 17, Baba Kishar.
Come, sir. Book of Nehemiah, chapter 12, verse 14. Lama lo wakya. Yawa Nathan. La Shabanya. Yabasa. Verse 15. La Karam. Ida Lama really Lama Yawas Kalakli, verse 16. La Ida Ya the Kari Lagat Lagana the one Mashalom, verse 17. La Abaya, La Abya, Zaka Zakaria, Malan Yam. Laman Yamya. Lama wa Idea. Palatya.
Keep going. Keep going.
Verse 18. Laba Laga. Shemawai. Lashemaya. Yahweh Nathan. Verse 19. Wala Yawa Yar Mathanya. Like Laya Yala Dada Laya died Layadaya, Isaiah, verse 20. Lasalia, Kolia, Laimo, Wak, Ibar, verse 21. Laka, Kawabia, Kashabia, Laya da Aya, nothing, Allah.
In English, we're going to read this in the English. It's Nehemiah 12, 14 through 21.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 14. Of Meliku, Jonathan. Of Shebaniah, Joseph. Verse 15. Of Harim, Adnah. Of Merioth, Helkai. Verse 16. Of Iddo, Zechariah. Of Ginnathan, Meshullam. Verse 17. Of Abijah, Zechariah. Of Miniamin, of Moadiah, Piltai. Verse 18. Of Bilgah, Shamua. Of Shemaiah, Yahanna. Verse 19. And of Joiarib, Metanai. Of Jedaiah, Uzziah. Verse 20. Of Salai, Kalai. Of Amak, Eber. Verse 21. Of Hilkiah, Hashabiah. Of Jedaiah, Nethaniel.
Continue on in Hebrew, Nehemiah chapter 12, 22 through 28. Nehemiah chapter 12 and verse 22. Wayam, Bayamya, Aliyashiyab, Yawa, Yadai, Waya, Wakwana, Wayad, Wa'ai. Katha Wabyam, Ra'ashya, Abawath, Wa Hakahanyam, Al, Malakwath, Dara Yawam, Dara Yawash, Parasaya. Verse 23. Bunya, Lawaya, Ra'ashya, Ha Abawath, Ka Thawabyam, Al, Sapar, Dabarya, Hayamyam, Wa'ai, Yamya, Yawa Kanana, Bun, Aliyashia, verse 24. Wa Ra'ashya, Hala Wayam, Kashabya, Sharabaya, Waya Shawa'ai, Ban, Kwadam Ya'al, Wa'ak Yaham, La Nagadam, Laha Lala, Laha Wada Wath. Bama Tazawath. Dawayad. Ayash. Ha'alahayim. Ma Shamar. La'ai Math. Ma Shamar. Verse 25. Matha Naya. Wabak. Wa Bakwaya. Ibadia. Mashalam. Ta Lama La Slakia. Ta Lama Wan. I Korwa. Masha Slakia. Shap Shamariam. Shawa I Rayam. Masha Slakia. Mashamar. Ba'asapya Slakia. Ba'asapya. Hasha I Rayam. Verse 26. Allah. Bayamya. Yawa Yakim. Bun. Ya Shawai. Bun. Yawa Tazadak. Waba Yumya. Nakumya. Hapaka. Wa'ai Zara'ah. Hakahan. Sawapar. Verse 27. But not Slakia. Wabak Nakat. Kawamath. Yera Washalam. Kwashawa. Ath. Halawayam. Makau. Makwa. Wamatham. Laha Baya'am. Laya Ra Washalam. La'ai Shatha. Naka. Washa Maka. Wa Batha Wadawa. Bawash Yara. Matazalathia. Naba Layam. Wabak Narawath. Verse 28. Waya Asakwa. Banya. Hama Amash Rarayam. Wa Mana. Ha Kakar. Sabaya Bawath. Yara Washalam. Wa Mana. Tazaria. Tapathia. Read that in English. Nehemiah 12:22-28.
Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 42. And the Levites in the days of I.S.U.P.K, Joiada, and Johanna, and Jaddua were recorded chief of the fathers, also the priests, to the reign of Darius the Persian. Verse 23. The sons of Levi, the chief of the fathers, were written in the book of the Chronicles, even until the days of Johanan, the son of I.S.U.P. Verse 24. And the chief of the Levites, Hashabiah, Sherebiah, and Joshua, the son of Kadmiel, with their brethren over against them, to praise and to give thanks, according to the commandment of David, the man of God, warred over against war. Verse 25. Mattaniah and Bakbukiah, Obadiah, Meshullam, Talman, Akub, were porters, keeping the ward at the thresholds of the gates. Verse 26. These were the days of Joachim, the son of Jeshua, the son of Josadak, and in the days of Nehemiah, the governor, and of Ezra, the priest, the scribe. Verse 27. And at the dedication of the wall of Jerusalem, they sought the Levites out of all their places, to bring them to Jerusalem, to keep the dedication with gladness, both with thanksgiving and with singing, with cymbals, psalteries, and with harps. Verse 28.
Thank concert with Cap Katza, with Shantar War, with Shapat, you know what I'm saying? With who else we got out there? We got also Danya Allah, you know what I'm saying? With 144, the rebel, you know what I'm saying? Think of them when they say singers. Don't think of, these halfway feminine the LGBTQ community members, the Donnie McClurkins, or what's that short dude? Kirk Franklin. Don't think of that. That is Babylon, 100%. You know what I'm saying? This is not what we're talking about. Think One West concert. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. Oh, it's like
to add what you're saying, I want like not singing them a song of mirth to make them feel better about our captivity.
Damn straight. We're singing, quote unquote, how we go on the ground, go to ground. You know what I'm saying? We take ground. You know what I'm saying? Put my brick in. Salaki, if you could, return this camera. I'm sure about smoke. It ain't done. It's not. Think of that. Right? Let's keep going.
Verse 28. And the sons of the singers gathered themselves together, both out of the plain country round about Jerusalem, and from the villages of Netophthai.
Keep going. Nehemiah 12, 29 through 35. Verse 29. Wama Bayath. Ha Galah. Ha Galgal. Wama Shadawath. Gabai. Wa'ai Samawath. Kaya. Ka Tazarium. Banwa Laham. Ha Shara Rayam. Sabaya Bawath. Yara wa Shalom. Verse 30. Waya Taha Rawah. Hakahanyam. Waha Lawayam. Waya Tahar Wa. Ta'ain. Wa'ath. Hasha'arayam. Wa'ath. Haka Wama. Verse 31. Wa'ah I love. Sharya Yahawada. Ma'al. Lakha Wama. Wa'ah I'm Yada. Shathya. Thawadat. Gada Walat. Watha Ha Lakat. La Yamyan. Ma'al. Lakah Wama. La Sha'ira. Ha'a Shapath. Verse 32. Waya Lak. Akaryahum. Slakin. Hawa Sha'aya. Waka Taziyah. Sharia, Yahawadah. Verse 33. Wa I Zariah. I Zara'ah. Wa Shalom. 34. Yahawadah. Wa Bunyan Na. Wa Slakia. Wa Shemaiah. Wa Ramiah. Verse 35. Wa Bunya. Hakahanyam. Baha Tazar Wath. Zachariah Ban. Yawa Nathan Ban. Shemaiah Ban. Mathaniah Ban. Ma Yakaya Bun. Zakawar Bun. Asap. We'll keep it going. Nehemiah 12, 29 through 35.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 29. Also from the house of Gilgal, and out of the fields of Geba and Azmaveth. For the singers had builded them villages round about Jerusalem. Verse 30. And the priests and the Levites purified themselves, and purified the people, and the gates, and the wall. Verse 31. Then I brought up the princes of Judah upon the wall, and appointed 2 great companies of them that gave thanks, whereof one went on the right hand upon the wall towards the dung gate. Verse 32. And after them went Hoshaiah, and half of the princes of Judah. Verse 33. And Azariah, Ezra, and Meshullam. Verse 34. Judah and Benjamin, and Shemaiah, and Jeremiah. Verse 35. And certain of the priests' sons with trumpets, namely Zechariah, the son of Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Mattaniah, the son of Micaiah, the son of Zakur, the son of Asaph.
These are men of Israel right here, and even now, in all of our and all of our sin and all of our corrupted selves, we still think back to our forefathers. How many people is called Asaph? You know what I'm saying?
My man, Big Five.
You know what I'm saying? Big Five. Most High Christ. Let's keep on going. We're gonna get Nehemiah 12, 36 through 42. Wa'akia wa Shemaiah, Wa'ai Zara'al, Ma Lalaya, Ga Lalaya, Ma'aya, Nathana'al, Wa Yahawadah, Ka Nanaya, Bakalia, Shayar, Dawayad, Ayash, Ha-Alahayim, Wa'ai Zara'ah, Ha-Sawapar, Lapunt, Lapun-Yahum, verse 37, Wa'al, Sha'ai-Ra, Ha-Ayan, one Gadam, Alawa, Ma'alawath, Ayar, Dawayad, Bama, Ila, Laka, Wama, Ma'al, Labayat, Dawayad, Wa'ad, Sha'ira, Hamayam, Mazarak, verse 38, Waha, Thawada, Hashan Yatha, Haha, Walakath, Lama Wa'al, Wa'anaya, Akaraya, Waka Tazaya, Ha'aim, Ma'al, Laha, Kawama, Ma'al, La, Ma, Gada, Slakia, Lama, Gadal, Hathan, Rarayim, Wa'ai, Haka, Wama, Ha, Ra, Kaba, verse 39, Wama'al, La Shara'i, Aparyim, Wa'al, Sha'ira, Ha, Yashana, Wa'al, Sha'ira, Ha, Yagayim, Wama, Gadal, Ka Nana'al, Wama, Gadal, Ha, Ma'a, Wa'ai, Sha'ira, Ha, Taza'an, Ha, Taza'ana, Wa'ai, Wa'im, Madawa, Ba, Sha'ira, Ha, Hama, Torah. Verse 40. What the I Madah. Hey, can you go down there and help? Verse 40. What the I Madana. Shafiyah. Atho Wadah. Baba Ya. Alahayim. Wa'anya. Waka Tazaya, Ha Saganya, Imaya. Verse 41. Hakahanya, Alayakyam, Ma'ai Shaya, Mana Yamyan, Mayakya, Aliyah, Wa'al Yanya, Zachariah, Kana Naya, Ba Tazarawa, verse 42. Wama Aishaya, Wa Shama'aya, Wa'al Izar, Wa Isaiah, Wa Ha, Wa Ka Nana, Wa Malakya, Wa Ayalam, Wa Izar, Wa Yasham Ya'ai Ma Slakya, Ha Mashar Rayam, Yawa Zarakya, Ha Pako Pa Koyad. 51 in English. You want to get Nehemiah 12, 36 through 42.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 36. And his brethren, Shemaiah, and Azariel, Milalai, Gilalai, Ma'ai, Nathaniel, and Judah, Hananiah, and the musical instruments of David, the man of God, and Ezra the scribe before them. Verse 37. And at the fountain gate, which was over against them, they went up by the stairs of the city of David, at the going up of the wall, above the house of David, even unto the water gate eastward. Verse 38. And the other company of them that gave thanks went over against them, and I after them, and the half of the people upon the wall, from beyond the tower of the furnaces even unto the broad wall. Verse 39. And from above the gate of Ephraim, and above the old gate, and above the fish gate, and the tower of Hananiel, and the tower of Mia, even unto the sheep gate, and they stood still in the prison gate. Verse 40. So stood the two companies of them that gave thanks in the house of God, and I, and the half of the rulers with me. Verse 41. And the priest, Eliakim, Maaseiah, Menaiah, Micaiah, Elianai, Zechariah, and Hananiah with trumpets. Verse 42. And Maaseiah, and Shemaiah, and Eleazar, and Uzziah, and Jehohanan, and Malchijah, and Elam, and Ezer. And the singers sang loud with Jezreiah, their overseer.
Is Uzziah, is that the name of the dude who got struck down for touching the Ark of Covenant? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his name is. Terrible to name that. I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure if this is the brother's name. Okay. We're going to continue on in Hebrew. We're going to get Nehemiah 12, 43 through 47, and then 13, 1 and 2. Here's Nehemiah 12 and 43. Waya Zabakwa, Baya Wam, Haha Wa'a, Zabakyam, Gada Walayam, Waya Shamakwa, Kaya, Ha'alahayim, Shamkam, Shamaka, Gada Wala, Wagam, Ha, Nishayim, Waha, Yaladyam, Shamakwa, Watha Shamai, Shamakat, Yara wa Shalom, Marak Wakwa, 44, Waya Pa, Waya Pa Quadawa, Bayawam, Haha Wa'a, Ana Anashiam, Al, Hana Shakawa, La'a Watazar Wath, Latha Rawa Mawaf, Lara Ashia Yatha, Walla Ma'ai Sharwath, La Kana Wasa, Baham, La Shadaya, Ha'ai Rayam, Ma Na'awa, Ha Wa Ra, Laka, La Kahanya, Wala Lawayam, Kaya, Shama Sha Makatha, Yahawada, Al, Hakahanyam, Wa'al, Hawayam, Ha'ai, Madia, verse 45. Waya Shamarwa, Ma Shamartha, Ha'alahayam, Wa Shamarratha, Ha-Ra, Waha Masha Rarayam, Waha Sha'ai Rayam, Kama Tazawak Dawayad, Shalama Banwa, verse 46. Kaya
Bayamya, Dawiyad, Wa Asap, Ma Quadam, Ra'ash, Hamashar, Rayam, Washayar, Thahala, Waha, the Wa, Ha, Slakia, La Alahayim, 47, Wakal, Yash'ala, Bayamya, Za, Rabba, Bala, Waba, Yamya, Kamaya, Nathaniel, Mana Yawak, Ha Mashar Rayam, Waha Sha'ai Rayam, the Bar, Yawam, Baya Wamwa, Wa Quadashyam, Lala Wayam, Wa Ha Lawayam, Ma Quadashyam, Labanya, Haran. Hold on, I got 1 and 2.
Oh, sure.
Nehemiah 13 and 1. Bayawam, Haha Wa'a, Naka Ra'ah, Basapar, Masha, Ba'a Zanya, Ha'aim, Wana Mataza'a, Kathawa, Bawa, Ashar, La'a, Ya Bawa'a, Ima Naya, Wama Abaya, Ba Wahal, Ha Alahayim, I will lum. Verse 2, Kaya, La'a, Kwa Damawa, Banya, Yash'ala, Balakam, Bawa Slakia, Wabamyam, Wa Bayamya, Slakia, Wa Bamayam, Waya Shakar, Aliyah, Bala'im, La Kwa La Wa, Waya Hapak, Alahayanwa, Ha Kuala La Baraka. In English, Nehemiah 12, 43, 47, and then 13, 1 and 2. See what we got here. Uh-oh.
Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 43. Also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy.
So like, if I could, let's rejoice for this food that we're about to get. Well, I see what's over here. She's trying to make us go to sleep. You want camp? That's what's going on. All right, Sly. Yeah, keep going.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 43. Also that day they offered great sacrifices and rejoiced, for God had made them rejoice with great joy. The wives also and the children rejoiced, so that the joy of Jerusalem was heard even afar off. Verse 44. And at that time were some appointed over the chambers for the treasures, for the offerings, for the first fruits, and for the tithes, to gather into them out of the fields of the cities the portions of the law for the priests and Levites. For Judah rejoiced for the priests and for the Levites that waited. Verse 45. And both the singers and the porters kept the ward of their gods and the ward of the purification, according to the commandment of David and of Solomon his son. Verse 46. For in the days of David and Asaph of old, there were chief of the singers, the songs of praise and thanksgiving unto God. verse 47.
So hold on. So A$AP was a quote unquote singer back then too. He chose his name right. Keep going. Shalak, he didn't even know.
Verse 47.
Well, hold on. It's not, but the scripture doesn't say he wore dresses.
Right, 100%. That's one of the ways he went astray. That's one of the ways he went astray. Keep going.
Verse 47. In all Israel, in the days of Zerubbabel and in the days of Nehemiah, gave the portions of the singers and of the porters, every day his portion. And they sanctified holy things unto the Levites, and the Levites sanctified them unto the children of Aaron. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 1. On that day they read in the book of Moses in the audience of the people, and therein was found written that the Ammonite and the Moabite should not come into the congregation of God forever. Verse 2. Because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit our God turned the curse into a blessing.
Continue on. Keep it down there. Okay. Yes, you had a question?
So on the last in verse 1, and they were talking about the Ammonites and Moabites did not come into the congregation. Were there other tribes, people that come into the congregation?
No one was supposed to come into the congregation. There was a law. I want to say it's in Deuteronomy, maybe in Leviticus, where they had, of course, Israel just forever breaks laws. And when the men married the daughters of other nations, those children couldn't come into the congregation until a certain generation. But when it came to the Moabites and Ammonites, they just couldn't come in at all. They were cast out forever until Christ came back. This has something to do with that. Okay. In that regard. Okay. No other nation could come into the congregation, but specifically, Most High hates Moabites because they cause SARS and Mars and and COVID and whatnot, and I wouldn't be surprised if the monkeypox came out of there. I'm not saying it did, but I just wouldn't be surprised. I seen a video. These niggas still eating bats. Like, are you serious? Like, y'all, you didn't learn over the past 2 years? Come on, man. Anyway, you had something?
I saw that video, but it was the sister trying to tell me that the monkeypox whole epidemic came from a truck flipping over some monkeys. You say?
No.
Some lab monkeys.
No. I know what you're talking about. There was an incident where there was, some monkeys that got away from a lab. But the monkeypox actually came to the United States. You know what I'm saying? That is not that happened here in the United States, but the monkeypox started somewhere else in the world and migrated its way over to this stinking kingdom. Right. People are stupid. Salaki. You got something?
Yeah, Salaki, sir. I heard it was a homosexual sex party somewhere in England.
I wouldn't be surprised. You asked, yeah.
Yeah, precept to cut the.
Of course, let's precept to cut what happened.
The Moabites, what the Lord will destroy them because Isaiah 66:15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sacrifice themselves and purify themselves in the garden, behold, one tree in the midst eating swine's flesh and abominations, and the mouse shall be consumed together, said the Lord.
Yeah, them niggas eat rats too. Them bats, them dirty. Man, they eat anything that's not tied down. And if it is tied down, they still try and get it. You got something?
Like, yeah, about that is Mount Virginia, but the party that you talking about was in Spain. We had like a multi Pride month or something like that. Pride event. It was like 80,000 plus in Spain.
Now, I just found out. I mean, we ain't gonna stay on this too long, but I just found out. I knew that you can get it by touch, but they said if someone had it in their mouth and it was still like the open sore and wasn't closed up and it was unhealed, it could become airborne by them coughing or spitting or whatever. Like, come on, man. I'm about to quarantine myself. And it's here in in the DMV area. These dirty, nasty, disgusting bastards. Well, let's keep going. Most High is going to deal with them. He's going to plead with them. Nehemiah, you finished? All right, we're going to get Nehemiah 13, 3-9. Wa Yahaya. Ka Shema'ayim. Ha the Barak. Waya Badya Lawa. Cal. I Rob. Ma Slakia. Ma Yasha'ala. Verse 4. Wa Lapanya. Mazah. Ala Yeshabia. Slakia. Ala Yash Yaba. Hakahan. Na the one. Bala Shakat Bayat. Alahayanwa. Wa Slakia. Wa Lawa. La Tawadia. The 5. Waya Aisha. Lawa. La Shaka. Gada Wala. Washam. Hayawa. Lapanyam. Nathanyam. Af. Ha Manaka. Ha ba slaka. Hala bawana. Wa ha kalayam. Wama Aishar. Hada gun. Hatha ya rawash. Waha yatazahar. Ma tazawath. Ha slakia. Ha lo wayam. Waha mashar rayam. Waha sha'irayam. Watha rawath slakia. Watha rawa matha. Hakahanyam. Verse 6. Wabakal. Azah la'a. Haya yathia. Baya ra washalam. Kaya. Ba Shanath. Shalashim. Washathim. Laya Slakia. La'a Rathak. Shesa Tha'ah. Malak. Babal. Ba'athia. Al. Hamalak. Walla Quataza'ah. Walak Tazah. Yum. Nasha Slakia. Nasha Alakia. Mana Hamalak. Verse 7. Wa'a bo wa Slakia. Wa'a bo wa'a. Waya worth Laya Rashalom. Wa Abba Yana. Ba'ai Ra'a. Ashar Aisha. Ala Yash Yaba. La Tawabya, La I Shawa, Lawa, Nashaka, Baka, Tazaraya, Baya, Ha'alahayim. Verse 8, Waya Ra'ai, Waya, Ma'ai, Ra'a, Shalah, Yaka, Ah, Kal, Kalaya, Baya, Tawa, Baya, Ha, Kawataza, Mana, Ha, Lashaka. Verse 9, Wa'amariah, Slakia, Wa'amara, Wa'ya, Taha, Rawa, Hala, Shakawa, Wa'ash, Yaba, Sham, Kalaya, Bayah, Ha'alahayim, Haba, Naka, Waha, Laba, Wana. City Boy in English, Nehemiah 13, 3-9.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 3. Now it came to pass, when they had heard the law, that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. Verse 4. And before this, I.S.U.P.K, the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of God, was allied unto Tobiah. Verse 5. And he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings, the frankincense, and the vessels, and the tithes of the corn, the new wine, and the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites and the singers, and the porters, and the offerings of the priests. Verse 6. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king. Verse 7. And I came to Jerusalem, and understood of the evil that I.S.U.P.K did for Tobiah, and preparing him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. Verse 8. And it grieved me sore. Therefore I cast forth all the household stuff of Tobiah out of the chamber. Verse 9. Then I commanded and then cleansed the chambers, and thither brought I again the vessels of the house of God with the meat offerings and the frankincense.
Continue on. We'll get to the last one. Nehemiah 13, 10-16. You give me the first verse, Bible Shah.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 13 in the Hebrew.
Verse 13 and 10.
Slack. Verse 13, verse 10 in the Hebrew. Wa'adai, Kaya, Manaya, Wata, Hala, William, La'a, Nathana, Waya, Barakawa, Ayash, Lashadaha, Lashadahawa, Hala, William, Waha, Mashar, Yum, Waha, Mashar, Rayum, Aishaya, Hama La'aka.
Verse 12. Wakal, Yahawada. Baya, Slakia. Ha, by Ya'awa. Ma'ai Shar. Hada gun. Waha, the Yar wash. Waha, Yatazahar. Laha, Wataza Rawat. Verse 13. Waha wa tazara. Al. Wa slakia. Wa tazarwa. Shalamiah. Hakahan. Wa taza the wak. Hasa wapar. Wapa the ya mana. Halawayim. Wa'al. Yadam. Kadana. Ban. Zakawar. Ban. Ma the Naya. Kaya. Na'a Manayim. Naka Shabwa. Wa'al Yaham. La'ka La'kwa. La'ak Yaham. Verse 14. Zakara Laya Al Haya Al Za'ah Wa'al Thamak Ka Sadaya Ashar Aisha Yafya Baba Yaf Alahaya Waba Masha Mariah Wa. Verse 15. Ba Yum Yum. Sakya. Ba Yum Yum. Haha Ma. Ra'ah Yathaya. Ba Yahawada. Dara Cut Darakim. Gathawath. Ba Shabbat. Wama Ba Ya Ayam. Ha'ai Ramawa. Wa'ai Messiah. Al. Kamariam. Wa'ap. Wa'apa. Wa'ap. Yana. Nabayam. With the Anyam. Wakal. Shama'a. Wama Baya'ayam. Yara wa Shalom Bayawam. Shabbat. Wa'a Ayad Bayawam. Ma Kamar. Tazayad. Verse 16. Waha Tazariam. Yashabya. Yashabwa. Baha. Maba Ya'ayam. It's like it. Da'agah. Wakal. Makar. Wamak. Wa Makariam. Ba Shabbat. Labanya. Yahawada. Waba Yara wa Shalom. We're going to finish this off. Nehemiah 13, 10 through 16.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 10. And I perceived that the portions of the Levites had not been given them. For the Levites and the singers that did the work were fled every one to his field. Verse 11. Then contended I with the rulers and said, why is the house of God forsaken? And I gathered them together and set them in their place. Verse 12. Then brought all Judah the tithe of the corn and the new wine and the oil into the treasuries. Verse 13. And I made treasurers over the treasuries, Shalamiah the priest, and Zadok the scribe, and of the Levites, Pedaiah, and next to them was Hanan, the son of Zakur, the son of Mattaniah. For they were counted faithful, and their office was to distribute unto their brethren.
So we didn't have any, especially at this time, we didn't have any swindlers or having people who was trying to collect building funds and then going out and getting $1 million worth of jewelry so they can get robbed on TV, which I think, I'm not gonna say what I think, but that I don't even think rappers, who show, on music videos and on their Instagram and whatnot, that they have all the jewelry on. They don't, for what I understand, all that is borrowed. It's not even theirs. So how is this preacher in Brooklyn going to have, all these cars and $1 million worth of him and his wife, $1 million worth of jewelry? Somebody lying.
And not too long ago, we was talking about, what was it, a Catholic priest or something like that. They had like a podium or something stolen, or a tabernacle stolen or something like that. And thank you, my bad. But it was like over $2 million.
Serious.
Yeah, it was like solid gold, whatever it was they stole from out of the building. It was something like a podium or something like that.
Where was this?
I could be wrong. I want to say that was in New York as well.
So it was in the States, basically.
It was.
I believe so.
Boy, I tell you.
Shortly after that.
Boy, I tell you, the Most High is turning them loose. Because once upon a time, you wasn't there as much as criminals and the criminals that will stick a gun in your face and tell you to give it up. They really would not touch the church. Why? Because there's enough criminals in there in the first place. But really, there was like a kind of a sort of a code. You just don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But now, not anymore. These dudes is going up with the cameras rolling live. Don't move. It's a robbery. It's a stick up.
Right.
Most High is turning loose all these these spirits to have these people go in and clean the rest of the church out. Because the church right now is on crutches. This is right now putting them on life support. And now with the monkeypox, with all them, choir singers, and church, choir directors, it's about to, clear them out. It's about to clear them out. Let's see how opening and forgiving they're going to be with somebody with sores all over their face. Good night. I'm slacking. Since you had something.
There was just two things. One was there was a report that that bishop person actually reenacted the situation after it happened.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought, I don't know anybody who could do that. But anyhow, I did have a question about one of the verses, because I just wanted to know who I was. So like it was verse 6, Nehemiah 13, verse 6.
Can you read that about Sure?
Come. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 6. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in the 32nd year of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king.
This is Nehemiah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's still something about it. And with that, do we have any more questions before I close it out? Yeah.
2 more verses, 3 more verses.
Oh, you have Salakia. Keep going.
Come. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 14. Remember me, O my God, concerning this, and wipe not out my good deeds that I have done for the house of my God, and for the offices thereof. Verse 15. In those days I saw in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and lading asses, as also wine, grapes, and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. Verse 16. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manners of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem.
Tell him, put his pause on. Keep doing this. Nehemiah don't play no games. And with that, men up here, I say Amijah, which means to stand. You good, Kugar?
which means to stand. Wapayah, which means to turn and face the east. We'll say the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. I.S.U.P.K. Shemka. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Taba'ah. I.S.U.P.K.
And in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. We forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to say Hakak, the power, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Thunder now.
Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the leper. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say, bless Israel, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Rockland out, Wayasha'Allah, Havayah, Sapari, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Duwad
In English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Bless us and Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We'll say 121. Asha'ah, Yahanna, Ahahari, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, I.S.U.P.K, Shemaiah, Ayathan, Namawat, Ayanawam, Shamar, La'ah, Ala'ah, Yashun, Shawamah, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamar, Yahweh, Ayah, Yamyaka, Hashemah, La'ah, Wayirah, Layla, Yahweh, Yashemah, Makawra, Yashemah, Ahlapashta, Yahweh, Yashemah, Taza'afka, Ma'ita, in
English, I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. You will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Thou shalt preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Thou shalt preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. So be it.
We'll say Psalms 83, Al-Ahayim, Al-Damai Lakah, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashikwa, Yahanna, Al-Yadik, Al-Yawam, Al-Shanaika, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Aimaka, Ya'ari Sawad, Wayataya Al-Tasa Pawanika, Amawa, Lakawa,
coward,
ولا كاكير
ولا كاكير,
مقالي
مقالي,
ولا آب
ولا آب,
that's a car شم يا شعب
شم يا شعب,
أيوة
أيوة,
كيا
كيا,
هو عيد الزبور
لو عايز
لا
لا,
يكابر
يكابر,
يكا
يكا,
بايا
بايا,
يا كرافو
يا كرافو,
أهالي
أهالي,
أنا وام
ألوام,
ويشمع آلي
ويشمع عالي,
ما وأبا
ما وأبا,
وهجاري
وهجاري,
وبول
جبال,
وأنا وام
وأنا وام,
وملاك
وملاك,
على الشعب
على الشعب,
أبي الشعبي
أبي الشعبي,
كازوول
كازوول,
كم أشوول
كماشوول,
نالوان
نالوان,
أيمان
أيمان,
أيوان
أيوة,
أبوان
دروان,
نبي لواك
لبني لواك,
سلاح
سلاح,
أشلهم
أشلهم,
كمادي
كمادي,
سرعات
سار سرعات,
كيابي
كيابي,
ولكو
ونكو,
يشوى
ويشوى,
أشماغو
نشماو,
هايند أيرو
بعين عيبر,
هايوان
هيوان,
دمان
دمان,
لأرمان
العلماء,
شايتمو
شيطمو,
نريامو
نريامو,
هايرا
كايرا,
وكذا أبو
وكذا عبد,
وكذا باك
وكذا باك,
وكذا زاونا
وكذا زمنا,
كان سايكمو
كان سايكمو,
الشاب
الشعب,
أمارو
أمارو,
ناير الشاب
ناير الشعب,
لنوام
الواق,
ناوا
ناوا,
على هاي
الهاي,
على هيا
الهيا,
شايتمو
شيطمو,
كجاغل
كجاغل,
كواش
كواش,
الفاير كواش
لبني ركواك,
كاش
كعاش,
تبع ايرو يا ايرو
تبع عيبر يا عيبر,
وكلا هبا
وكلا هبا,
طلعات
طلعات,
هايام
هايام,
كان
كان,
دردقمة
دردقمة,
بس الايرو
بس عيبر,
وبس وباك
وبس وباك,
تبع هلام
لبهلم,
ملآ
ملاء,
هيهم
فيهم,
قلوان
والوان,
ويبقواشو
ويبقواشو,
شمكاش
شمكاش,
يحاول
يحاول,
يباشو
يباشو,
ويبهاوي
ويبهاوي,
أي ويكفاو
ويكفاو,
ويبادو
ويبهاو,
ويدعيو
ويدعيو,
كيا
كيا,
أتا
أتا,
شمكاش
شمكاش,
يحاول
يحاول,
باك
باك,
أيوان
أيوان,
أو كان راتزا
أو كان راتزا.
Lord Amon
Waraman,
In English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
keep not thy silence, O Yahweh,
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy
And be
peace.
not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Lo.
Lo.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said,
Come.
Come.
Let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
Being a nation.
For being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembrance.
May be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against
The
thee.
tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
The Ishmaelites.
Moab.
Moab.
And Hagarene.
And Hagarene.
Gebal and Naphtali.
Gebal and Naphtali.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Ashes also joined with them.
Ashes also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kishon.
At the brook of Kishon.
Which Paris had endured.
Which Paris had endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like a red.
Make their nobles like a red.
Like the egg.
Like the egg.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes.
All their princes.
As the Ba.
As the Ba.
And as Amunah.
And as Amunah.
Who said, let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves
The house of Yahweh possession.
the house of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh, my power.
Make it like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the flames set the mountains on fire.
And as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
Make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
In trouble forever.
Trouble forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
You'll say the blessing, Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Malak? Why Mayaka Allah?
Why Mayaka Allah?
Why Al-Hayy?
Why Al-Hayy?
Matazabayah.
Matazabayah.
Al-Waq Yahanna.
Al-Waq Yahanna.
Ha Al-Waq.
Ha Al-Waq.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Quartas of Young.
Ha Quartas of Young.
Ha Young.
Ha Young.
Why Ha Waqi?
Why Waqi?
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Hashem.
By Hashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Lord Amon.
In English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angel.
And the angel.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
All the
troopers.
The troopers.
And assistants.
And assistants.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
And the name Yahweh Shai.
The name Yahweh Shai.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say the curses. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
Punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The treasures of the rich of Israel.
The treasures of the riches of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And the drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and
The
armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity. Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia. Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads. Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
Gay movement.
Gay movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Navy.
Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
Marine. Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airwaves.
And the airwaves.
Cable access channels.
Cable access channels.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop
And
us.
bring swift destruction.
And bring swift destruction.
To all the heathen.
All the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Try and stop us.
Trying to stop us.
Broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plague.
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 Cause them to go.
Cause them to go.
To and fro.
To and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
Consume them.
And consume them.
With the plagues.
With the plagues.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahushua shine.
Let Yahushua shine.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathen.
And punish all the heathen.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known.
Cause it to be known.
By all.
By all.
It is the angels that have done
It is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause it to shake thy covenant.
Cause it to shake thy
In
covenant.
the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Psalm, which means to turn. Men of Israel, gird thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
So, since this is men, be seated. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Rock,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakia.
Yagimatah, Saw, which means to turn. Sisters may stand, Imagine, means to stand. We'll give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Imagine, Rock,
Yahweh Shabbat Hashem Yahushua.
Yagimatah, class dismissed.